You ever see a grown woman get absolutely obliterated by a box of glitter and rotten shrimp at 3 in the morning? Because I have, and I gotta say, it's something you can't unsee. There I was, half asleep, peeking through my blinds as Karen Whitmore, the president of our HOA and self-appointed queen of suburban order, crouched at the end of my driveway, tearing into a package that didn't belong to her. And when that box cracked open, man, it exploded. Glitter everywhere. Her hair lit up like a disco ball, face twisted in horror, polyester tracksuit sparkling in all the wrong ways. And just for good measure, the smell of spoiled shrimp wafted through the air, so nasty even my security camera seemed to gag. I nearly died laughing, quietly, of course, because I wasn't ready to reveal my hand just yet. See, this wasn't revenge, at least, not yet. This was my confirmation. Packages had been disappearing off my porch for weeks. I'd blamed the usual suspects at first. The delivery guys, some bored teenager, maybe a real porch pirate passing through. But then it got weird. Every time I ordered something, Karen would find a way to mention it before I even opened the box. Oh, into wireless speakers now. Or didn't know you wore size medium hoodies. She was either psychic, or she was stealing my stuff. So I tested her. Bait box, recycled Amazon packaging. Stuffed with shrimp that had been marinating in the freezer for way too long, and vials of glitter so fine you'd be sneezing sparkles for a decade. When she took the bait, it all made sense. Karen wasn't stealing because she needed anything. She just couldn't stand the idea of secrets, of not being in control. And after she sprinted off, still covered in that neon confetti, I saved the camera footage in triplicate. That was just the beginning. The next morning, the neighborhood was buzzing. Karen strutted around in oversized sunglasses and a scarf, still shining like a unicorn threw up on her. By noon, she'd called an emergency board meeting. That evening, every resident got a new rule in their inbox. All deliveries would be rerouted to the HOA office for safekeeping, and for a small fee, naturally. Karen framed it as a response to theft. You know what I mean? The actual thief inventing a solution to her own crime. My buddy Chris, king of diagonal lawn stripes, just laughed. You gonna let her get away with it? He asked. Not a chance. But you can't fight a Karen head-on. You gotta play the long game. So I waited, biding my time, letting her dig her own grave one little rule at a time. But she wasn't subtle. Next morning, cops showed up at my door. Karen right behind them, still glittery, clutching her scarf. Like a wounded duchess. She'd told them I'd set a hazardous trap. The shrimp wasn't toxic, just disgusting. I invited the officers in, poured coffee, played the video on my big TV, her plain as day, stealing my mail, and getting wrecked by the shrimp bomb. The cops tried to keep a straight face. Karen turned the color of a tomato. That video's doctored, she protested. It's fake. But the evidence was too good. The officers left with a warning not to set traps. Karen stormed out, humiliated. But here's the twist, she doubled down. Now all packages were signed for by the HOA. Guess who signed for mine? You bet. Karen, strutting across the street with stacks of boxes, didn't even bother hiding it anymore. Catching her wasn't enough. If I wanted to beat her, I had to turn the neighborhood against her. And believe me, the neighborhood was ready to blow. Half the residents were too tired to fight, but the other half? They were sick of Karen fingering through their Amazon orders. Chris caught me at the mailbox, waving the new policy flyer like a flag. That's extortion with glitter in her hair. I joked. But he was right. Unless someone did something, Karen would win by default. So I started gathering dirt. The next time I ordered something stupid, socks, Karen did her thing. $5 storage fee to get back my own property. I let it sit there for days just to see what she'd do. When I finally picked it up, she tried to play it cool, but the box had obviously been tampered with. I cracked a joke about her tape job. She almost snapped, but couldn't risk losing face in front of other residents. Got home, opened the box, no socks. Just a single pair of neon pink leggings. Wrong size, not mine. Karen was mocking me. That night, I adjusted my cameras, caught her moving boxes from the HOA office to her garage. I wasn't the only one losing packages. Mr. Patterson, the retired vet across the street, stopped me one morning, voice gravelly. I've had 3 VA deliveries go missing, meds, important stuff. Saw her taking them. Didn't want trouble, but that was it. Karen wasn't just petty, she was dangerous. The final showdown came at the barbecue. Karen herself announced, mandatory attendance and all. I loaded up a box, wrapped it with my name in big, bold letters, and set it out with the food. Karen couldn't resist. She opened it in front of the crowd. Boom. Glitter and flour explosion, coating her dress and even her burger. For a second, the neighborhood was dead quiet. Then people burst out laughing. Karen was furious, but she couldn't do a thing. She tried to fight back with bureaucracy, sliding a disciplinary letter under my door. I went full detective, dug up every bylaw, every infraction she'd ever committed. Her hedges, her garage full of stolen packages, the testimonies from neighbors. I walked into the HOA hearing loaded for bear. Karen ran the meeting like a dictator, but when I started dropping photos and signed statements on the table, the board started to squirm. When Mr. Patterson's letter about missing medication came out, one board member just coughed. That's a federal matter. And that's when Karen lost it, screaming about smear campaigns, calling me a tech-savvy manipulator, trying to spin it all. But the room wasn't buying it. Things escalated. Karen smashed my windshield, tried to slap an eviction notice on my door, like she had the power. She pushed and pushed, but I pushed back harder. I went to the cops, to the postal inspector, handed over all the evidence. Within a week, federal agents were watching her. And when the moment came, Karen walked right into their trap, literally. Handcuffs. A whole crowd watching, Chris filming, glitter still clinging to her like the world's weirdest badge of shame. But Karen wasn't gone. Not really. She rebranded, newsletters, late-night meetings in her garage, a weird little security patrol of loyalists harassing anyone who crossed her. I fought back with spectacle, set up a TV at the community garage sale, played footage of her stealing packages for everyone to see. Her supporters faltered. Someone slipped me a flash drive, recordings of Karen ranting about restoring the HOA, banning troublemakers, me, bringing back fees, and curfews. It was gold. I waited for the fall block party. When Karen started speechifying, I let her own words ring out from the speakers for everyone to hear. Her threats, her plans, her promises to make agitators regret ever moving in. The crowd turned. Seconds later, postal inspectors rolled up again, arrested Karen in front of everyone, her last loyalists scattering like bugs. Chris grinned. You just dropped a nuke on the queen. In the aftermath, the HOA crumbled. People started talking to each other again. No more ridiculous rules, no more fear. Mr. Patterson got his meds. Kids left bikes on sidewalks. The neighborhood was free. But you want to know the real win? It was the silence. No more newsletters, no more threats, just peace. Packages delivered, untouched, boring as can be. Yeah, Karen will be back. People like her never really disappear. But this time, if she crawls out of the woodwork, she's not just facing me. She's facing a neighborhood that finally remembers what it's like to stand up for itself. That's the kind of justice you can't buy. So, what do you think? Did I go too far? Or is this what it takes to keep tyrants in check? Let me know where you stand, because in the end, maybe the real story is about all of us, choosing when to fight, when to forgive, and when to just let the glitter settle.